Hey, good day, good day. All right, so we're talking about swing. Let's do this. All right, all right. Let's look at swing scalping. Most of you are familiar with scalping, especially on a lower time frame, 1 minute. Some even have seconds. You have charts that can add to the seconds or candlesticks. Um, but essentially, scalpers are looking to get in and out, short moves, exploit inefficiency in the market on a lower time frame. With your swing trading, you're looking to go longer out. You're holding it for a day, weeks, whatever, right? So swing scalper is basically a hybrid between the two. So we're just going to take multiple small profits within a large swing move. All right, we're not holding position for seconds like a pure scalper, nor are we doing it for days or weeks like a swing trader. Instead, we're going to ride the momentum of a swing, but we're going to exit in pieces or multiple trades along the way. Um, so it could be often within the same day. And I'll show you too on an asset called Magic that I traded today. Total over I think 4 or 5 times that I traded that asset. But I had overall targets, but I was scaling out on my way to those targets. So let's look at Bitcoin right here, and let's take this area where we see a sharp move up. All right, so this is going to be our impulse. And so if I'm trading this based off my trading strategy, all right, my ultimate goal is to get between the 61% and 78%, which we do achieve. All right. So if I was looking to swing this, um, you essentially had your a double top up here on January the 20th, and it took all the way until April the 8th to get down to the 78%. Now, I don't have the patience to hold something this long if I'm not outright just invested in this particular asset. If I'm investing, of course, I'm not shorting it. But if I was investing, I'm going long. That's something different. I can handle because my mindset is totally different when it's investing. But when I'm trading, I have a hard time using investing principles of holding for long duration. It's because we know that in trading it can be unforgiving, especially using leverage. When you can be up, 200 or 300 percentage points, and then all of a sudden you're down, and then you factor in your leverage. It's a big thing, especially in crypto. And so, what's the remedy for that? Well, you can swing scalp. So if you look here, we meet all these levels, but what if we find an entry here, and one of our first targets to get out is at the 23%. All right, we get back above, you find another entry point. What do? We can now get out at the 38. Right, we find another entry point. And what I mean by entry point is if we're selling, we want to sell high. So these are high points. These are high points. These are high points. These are high points. We don't want to sell low. Okay, we don't want to sell right here. We don't want to sell there. We don't want to sell there. We don't want to sell here, here, or here. Never sell low. But we always want to sell high. Back in, we call these premium areas of some form of supply, right? If I'm going to sell anything, it's going to be within this area. Now, same thing with buying. You reverse it. If you want to buy, I want to buy in this area. Want to buy low, buy low, buy low, sell high. Okay. Now, as we dropping, we have these different, like I said, levels that I can exit out of. So instead of holding this from January all the way down here to April, along the way, my target is this. So let's take this off and let's do this. Say we got something like this in the market. And of course I can get my downside targets. All right. So target 1 and 2 is an area where I definitely would want to see price come to based off that fib extension. All right. So take this off. All right. So that's one area. And now I'm looking for confluence to see where that lines up. And it's between the 61 and 70%. And so I definitely would want to adjust my target, and I want to see price get back down here. Now I got a target, but instead of holding on to one position to get all the way there, I can scale out and back in as price makes its way. So okay, we're in the trade. Looking for sales up there. All right, we hit our first two targets. Okay, but from being able to short from up here to maybe here, we're looking to what? Scale out, take some profits. All right, from here to maybe here, same thing. You can take some off the table. Now, because I'm doing that, that also means I'm re-entering as well too, uh, as price moves in that direction. But what this does is it allows you to take profit off the table as you still remain strong or convicted that your target will be hit, right? So this is uh this is a great way to implement swing scalping. So let's look at magic. Now you may say, well, why don't you just hold on to it? Like you're just gonna your targets a hit instead of jumping in and out. Well, that's the thing. If we're trying to generate some income, right, through swinging, you can. Through scalping, you can. But also, you're doing swing scalping. You got your long term targets, but you also can make money and withdraw because you're generating what? Income, revenue by taking profits along the way. All right, so let's go down to lower time frame. We traded this earlier today. All right. So when we got these levels, we dropped below, right? We hit the 38%. That was a target. Right. We came back above this level again. Right. We got another entry and we took profit again. All right. We was able to push back up further. Right. I got another position in and then we was able to close again right here. So that was a lot of exits, entries and exits based off this one. So that means that I was able to make three profits, but my biases, I want to see us get back down here between 61 and 70%, especially with this fair value gap. And there's a possibility we could get this low as well, too. But this is where we feel that price can come to. So instead of me just holding, and if I would have held from entry up here, I would have been fine. But I'm trying to generate income. So if I'm generating income, I'm using this as like, hey, I don't have time to sit here and wait just for the profits to hit targets. We could just swing scalp it. You can do the same thing. Any asset class, you do it in Bitcoin, you do it XRP, it doesn't matter. Especially if you're using leverage. Right? So your leverage plays can use as a vehicle, you know, uh, to extract from the market as market moves into your favor. So play around with it. Whatever strategy you use on a higher time frame, you can use the same. You give yourself more time. I mean, overall, if you think the market's going to be bullish, I mean that's very beneficial to you. It teaches you what uh, what to look for and give you an opportunity to enter and exit along the way. All right. So I hope this helps. Got any questions? Leave in comments. Hit like, subscribe, support. E White. I am out.